What's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a couple of weeks, but I've been busy doing other things with work and stuff, but hopefully I'm back now until the end of the season. Hopefully we don't have any more interruptions and stuff. But anyway, Manchester United are in action in the Premier League match day 26 up against Everton. But before we get into that, I'll just go over some of the fixtures that I've missed. I did miss 5 fixtures, unfortunately. Wasn't able to make videos at the time. So Fulham, the last video that I did make was the Rangers video where we won 2-1 in the Europa League, which was a very good result for us. And then Fulham, we played against Fulham and won 1-0 on the 26th of Jan, which was good. And then we did win our Europa League match as well, our final Europa League game. We won against Steaua Bucharest 2-0 at the end of January. And then, unfortunately, we did lose to Palace at home 2-0, which was a poor result. I didn't catch that game. I did catch the Leicester game on Friday, the 7th of Feb, where we won 2-1, courtesy of a Harry Maguire header at the end of the match, which was really good because our league form hasn't been great this season. It's been really poor in the league, but it's nice to see that we're doing well in Europe and in the FA Cup as well. So we progressed into the next round of the FA Cup, and then after that, unfortunately, we did lose to Spurs 1-0. But they're the fixtures that I missed, unfortunately. Hopefully, I don't miss any more, but we'll see how it goes until the end of the season. So in terms of Everton, though, we are playing Everton match day 26. It is at Goodison Park, 12:30 p.m. kickoff tomorrow, and manager is David Moyes. And David Moyes was reappointed Everton manager on the 11th of January. And he's doing all right. Since he's taken over. He took over from Sean Dyche. So on the 9th of January, Dyche was sacked by Everton precisely 3 hours before an FA Cup third round home tie with Peterborough United, following a run of poor results. And by the time of his sacking, Everton were only 1 point above the relegation zone, having only won 3 of their last 19 games in the 2024-25 season. Everton moved in to secure David Moyes as his replacement, with the former returning to the club after 12 years. So this is David Moyes' second Everton stint, returning to the club after 12 years after he left in June 2013. So in June 2013, with Everton, he was there for about 11 years, and he managed 518 games, won 218, drawn 139, then he lost 161, had a win percentage of 42.08%. And of course, David Moyes is ex-Manchester United manager as well, and we don't need to be going over that. That was a very car crash, bad of a season. But I think obviously this season's been worse, probably the worst season ever in terms of Manchester United's history. Probably up there. I'm not sure if United have been relegated ever before. I think we probably have. I'm not sure, honestly. My knowledge doesn't go that far back in terms of Manchester United's history in the football division and stuff. But this is definitely up there in terms of the modern era. One of our worst seasons ever, or probably the worst season. Certainly the worst season probably post Sir Alex Ferguson, even after Ruben Amorim was appointed. I did have some hopes, but I did mention in a video that I'd see how we get on after 10 games, and I think he's a decent manager. I just don't think I think he's the right manager as well. I just don't think he's got the right tools at the moment to kind of perform, and it's looking really peak for Man United in the Premier League right now. Anyway, in terms of Everton though, earlier on in the season, Manchester United did beat them. We won 4-0 at Old Trafford, courtesy, I think it was 2 Rashford goals and 2 Xerxes goals, if I'm not mistaken. So that was a good result for us. After I think Ruben Amorim's first month in charge or something. But in terms of Everton though, Everton are coming into this game with some decent form. I think they are the Premier League's most informed side. They did win their last match against Crystal Palace, that is. They drew against Liverpool at home, which was a decent result for them because Liverpool, of course, flying high in the Premier League. They did lose in the FA Cup fourth round to Bournemouth 2-0, but they did beat Leicester at home 4-0. They also beat Brighton away from home 1-0, which was a good result for them. And then they also beat Spurs at home 3-2 as well. But then they did lose to Aston Villa as well on the 15th of Jan. So in terms of some form, I think in terms of the Premier League, they are coming into this game in terms of one of the top form sides in the Premier League. So in terms of their lineup, if we have a look at their lineup, this is who I think that we're gonna David Moyes is gonna go with. Pickford, of course, O'Brien, Tarkowski, and Brathwaite and Mikalenko making up that back four. Garner and Game as the two defensive midfielders. Lindstrom, Alcaraz, and Harrison, that front three in behind Beto, the striker. So in terms of how they play, since his return, Moyes has implemented a greater sense of invention whenever his team is in possession. The play is now more unpredictable, making it harder for oppositions and opponents to set up in a structure that limits their attacking threat. And Moyes has also introduced greater tactical flexibility, more than Sean Dyche. In their match against Tottenham, he did change to a back three and started Mikalenko and on loan Denmark winger Lindstrom as wing backs as well. So he is showing some tactical flexibility, I think more than Sean Dyche as well. This not only gave Everton an additional player at the back, but also gave the midfielders greater license to push forward and increase their numbers in promising areas off the field. The result of that change was that Everton were able to apply greater pressure on the Tottenham backline, which has been fragile at best this season. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to get the best out of Tottenham this season, losing both games at home and away, unfortunately for United. But in terms of Everton, without possession, Everton defend with conviction and like to press in the middle third. They squeeze up when the man closest to ball is harassed. They are a well-drilled team that is unusual to catch out with a high line, and they use a narrow formation with their central midfielders and wide players close together. So in terms of their formation, of course, it's going to be a 4-2-3-1, and Sean Dyche didn't actually like to take his players. He didn't like the players to take risks with the ball, except in the final third. However, David Moyes has encouraged more players to move up the field when Everton have the ball and taking more risks on the ball as well. So in terms of their star man, I think I'm going to have to go with Beto. He's got 5 Premier League goals in 17 league games, 6'4" striker. It's going to be difficult to keep him quiet. But yeah, in terms of Manchester United, though, I think our last game was a loss, if I'm not mistaken, against Spurs in the Premier League. So that's not great for us. Losing to Spurs twice in the season isn't great. In terms of United's 11, who I've gone with, I didn't, since coming back, I've been catching up with United news and stuff. We've got so many injuries that I can't believe how many injuries we've got. But let's have a look at United's 11. So this is United's 11 who I've gone with. That standard 3-4-3 formation, or the 3-4-2-1. In terms of injuries, though, let's just have a look at the injuries. We got Bayende, Evans, Martinez, Shaw, Mainu, Mount, Collier, and Diallo all out. All out with injury, so they are unavailable. And I've been looking at United's bench in the last Premier League game. I think it was against Spurs. I think Chido Obi Martin did make his debut. Maybe he's been needing more minutes as well since coming from Arsenal. But United's 11, obviously Onan, Renette, Delit, Maguire, Mazraoui making up that back three. Dalot, Ugarte, Fernandez, and Dogu, who is a January signing, who's been okay. But I'm expecting a little bit more from him. And then Xerxes, Garnacho, and Højlund up front. Of course, Rashford has gone on loan to Aston Villa. Maybe it would be worth calling him back with how many injuries we have. I'm not sure, but I don't think Ruben Amorim fancies him too much. In terms of United star man, I'm going to have to go with Bruno. Ahmad is out, unfortunately. Very disappointed to see Ahmad picking up that injury, because he has been Manchester United's best and most informed player so far this season, and unfortunately he's out for the season with an ankle injury. I think star man for United is going to be Bruno for me. Yeah, in terms of how do you beat them, of course, pace, power, strength, unpredictability. I think if we use the three centre backs to build up from the back and invite Everton onto us, because Everton are at home and we are away, so Everton are most likely going to try press us in our own defensive third, and then if we let them onto us, and then we can play out from the back really well. We have used that back three structure to play out from the back really well in terms of the matches that I've seen. So hopefully we can do that. Wing back's going to have to be offensive as well. I'm looking for some like quality in the final third from Dalot and Dogu as well. Of course, scoring early would help us as well. So in terms of the league table, maybe we should take a look at that quick time, because it's been a minute since I have made a video, and I've seen United play. Actually, I think the last game I did watch, like I mentioned, was the FA Cup game against Leicester, which we won 2-1. And like I said, it is nice that we are doing well in cup competitions as well. But also what I'm going to look at before I finish the video is the Europa League. The Europa League phase, because we have been drawn against of course we finished third in the Europa League in the league phase, and we've been drawn up against Real Sociedad, so that's going to be a very interesting tie as well. So yeah, let's just take a look at the Premier League table before we head off. So let's pull that up right now. So here you've got the Premier League table. Man United, this has been such a poor season for us, and I just don't think it's going to get any better. I don't think we're going to get relegated. I think we've got a little bit too much quality for that, but I think some major surgery needs to be done to the squad in the summer. And if we are to get back into not just into the top four, but like into the top half of the league, I predicted that we would be finishing 8th or 9th in my prediction video, and we're all the way in 15th. And if you have a look at the gap that's kind of making up from the bottom half to the top half, the top half of the league is kind of running away. Brighton are in 11th place with 37 points, and Tottenham are there 7 points away from Brighton. And with just the top half of the league is basically just running away from us. Of course, we don't want to get relegated, and we want to stay. Of course, we want to stay in the division, but it would be kind of funny if we did get relegated. But hopefully, we don't want to see that. Yeah, I think it would be very, Man United in the Championship, that would be joke. But we don't want to be seeing that happening. It's been such a lackluster, poor season, and I'm making a video after a couple of weeks, and it's not even like as if I've been missed much. It's been the same. Sometimes I was thinking that maybe if I don't make a video, Man United might perform better. Maybe like I'm a curse or something, or something like that. I don't know. But I think in general, since Alex Ferguson was retired, the club is just cursed or whatever. I don't know what's happening. But yeah, we are in 15th with a win against Everton. We would leapfrog Everton in the league, but you can see here Everton are pretty in form in terms of the informed side in the Premier League, up there in terms of with Liverpool, Arsenal, in terms of form. They are unbeaten in their last 5 fixtures in the Premier League, winning 4 and drawing 1 in the league. So yeah, I think it's going to be a difficult game tomorrow. It's going to be tough, but hopefully we can come away with all 3 points. And like I said, it's been a car crash of a season. It's been really bad. But hopefully we can come away with 3 points. We don't want to get relegated, and my only hope for this season is doing well in the FA Cup, possibly winning that, and of course winning the Europa League. Like, we want to be. It doesn't matter if we finish bottom half of the league. Like, I want to see Manchester United in the Champions League next season, and finishing bottom half of the league and winning the Europa League. Yeah, of course, I'll take that right now. Because Champions League football is really important for us. But yeah. In terms of score prediction, I'm going for a 2-1 Manchester United win, with Højlund and Bruno getting the goals and then Beto scoring for Everton. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.